Hey folks, welcome back to another video of the Flutter Development course brought to you by Newton School. My name is Harsh Kumar Khatri and I am currently working as a Flutter developer at Lakh, Sweden, and I have worked as an intern at Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and I have also interned at a firm named AppScript where I was working as a Flutter developer. I am also an educator and instructor on Udemy and Edunix where my Flutter development courses have more than 40,000 plus enrollments, so you can check them out as well. Now talking about what Newton School is, so basically Newton School is a platform that helps you to learn and develop the skills that you need for your best tech career. There are courses specifically designed for freshers, working professionals and for women with no prior experience in tech. Newton School first trains you for 6 months and helps you become a full stack developer, and they are also having 300 plus great companies who hire directly from Newton School, so you don't have to worry about the placement. They are also having a pay after placement program where you don't have to pay anything to Newton School until and unless you are placed with a minimum CTC of 5 lakh rupees per annum. And they are also having another amazing initiative known as Launchpad where they are providing you with some of the courses for free of cost, so you can go through those courses, learn the things which are being taught and also get a certificate of completion for the same. So you can check out Newton School and Launchpad through the link given in the description, and I would definitely suggest you to do so. Now talking about what will be covered in this video. So in this video I am going to teach you about BLoC. So at first we will be starting with BLoC and I'll be teaching you what BLoC is and what are the different components which are there in BLoC and how we can implement them and how we can use those components as well. And in the later part of this video I'll be showing you how you can implement the BLoC system or a state management solution with the help of streams and sinks. For now you must be thinking what streams and sinks are, but you will be getting all information about them once you are proceeding with this video. So make sure to check that out. And yeah, this is one of the easiest state management solution which you can implement with using streams and sinks. So make sure to check out the video until the end, and let's start on the video without wasting any more time. So herein you can see that I have opened the app which we have worked on in the previous video. So in the previous videos I have taught you how you can create the to-do app or the to-do project which we have made with Flutter totally from scratch after learning the implementation of the databases. So now let's start working on this video. But before starting, let me just clean up the project a bit because we have various different files which we don't need for this project. So I'll be removing these, the database helper class as well. The completed item screen won't be useful, and about the developer screen also. And inside the main.dart file as well we have various different items which we won't be needing for this project, so I'll be removing those as well. So starting with this home only, like the home page which we are having, where it is, I'll be removing this particular thing and I'll be creating another widget later on like for this home. So let me delete this as well. And for metadata we are getting some errors, so let me close this file as well and deleting these particular things as well. Now we are good to go with our project. So first let me tell you what basically BLoC is and how we can use blocks and how we are using the stream and data which is present in a block. So whenever we are talking of BLoC, we need to understand what sink and source are. So sink can be understood as an input and source can be understood as an output. We can sometimes call this source as stream as well. So we generally have sink and stream. So what sink takes is sink can take various different events, various different data on which the application would be depending and through which the state of the application would be changing. So basically sink is that. In the image as well you can see over here that sink is taking data in, but inside our application which we will be developing we will be having some events which will be passed and accordingly the data would be sent towards or outwards this BLoC stream or this business logic. So basically when we are having a sink, data is sent to it. Herein in the center you can see we have a BLoC over here which has a stream of data. So you can understand this yellow container which is present having 3 circles as a stream of data. So what stream of data is? There is a large amount of data which is present inside our application depending upon what all things we are having in our app and what all things we are going to use in our app. So that's why we call it as a large stream of data. And whenever we are passing some data in inside this sink, or whenever we are passing some event inside this sink, what we want basically is we want the data which is related to our event or which is related to the data which we are passing, and we want that particular data from the stream of data or the various different pool of data which is available, and we want only that particular related output inside the source, inside our application or inside wherever we are using that data. So basically we use this sink to pass the events, and this yellow container, which is the pool of data, is used to get that particular data which is needed for our application, and that the output which we are getting is being passed out with the help of this source. So herein you can see over here that we have this async, and the data is the data output is also present over here. Apart from this pool of data, there could also be a business logic which is present inside BLoC, which basically means that if you want to perform some particular action on the data which you want, or if you want to perform some specific logic or sort the data in a particular type and then display to the user, so you can do that too with the help of this business logic, whatever you are specifying. And one more thing you must be thinking, like you have heard what async and await are, but what is basically this async star? So async star is used whenever we want to yield some data. So when we are using async, it will be providing us an output as a future data or some future return type which we are specifying. But whenever we are using this async star, it would be returning as a stream builder. So it would be returning us with a stream of data, and basically it will be yielding out that data whatever we are specifying, and we can then use that stream of data which we are getting appropriately inside our application. So I hope this is clear for you, like you have understood whatever I have told you over here regarding this sync, BLoC and source, and apart from that the async star as well. I'm not sure if you are able to see this async star. Let me just show you. So this is how this async star or the complete image looks. And yeah, now let's get back to our project. So inside this main.dart file, first we need to create some changes, or we need to make some changes. So I'll start by adding at first let me just add a scaffold directly inside this home, because if we create another class, we can also create another class, but yeah, it's not needed over here. And inside this scaffold I'll be adding an app bar as well. So app bar would be having a title, and this title would be equal to a text which will be saying that state management. And let me once hot restart the app, because this will allow the app to take all the changes, and the to do thing would be removed completely from our app. And inside the debug console as well, you can see restart has been triggered, and you can see that the app has been updated. Now coming back towards our scaffold widget which is present, I'll be adding a body to it, which would be of a kind center, and this will be having a child as a column, and this column will be having multiple different childrens. But before this children, let me add the main axis alignment. So for that I'll be adding it as main axis alignment dot center. So main axis alignment dot center, and now adding the children inside it. So the first children which I am going to add over here is a text which will be displaying that you have pushed this button and this many times. I'm not adding any styles to it, but yeah, you can add the styles according to your need and according to your preference. Now the next widget which I am going to add over here is an stream builder. So what stream builder is, whenever we are having sinks and streams inside our Flutter application, so we have stream builder as well, which will be listening to the stream and it will be updating the data dynamically inside our application. As you can see over here that we are having a stateless widget. So in the previous videos, like in the first few videos, I have told you that stateless widgets cannot be updated dynamically, but yeah, with the help of stream builders, provider or state management solutions, we can update those stateless widgets also dynamically, which will be saving some memory for our app as well. And apart from that, it will be making our app less bulky and more functional as compared if we are adding various different functionality. So that's why we use a stream builder. For our app, we are using stream builder to listen to the stream of data and to build the widgets which are available accordingly. So this builder takes a context, and inside it also takes a snapshot of data. So whatever the data is being returned, so it would be taking that in a form of a snapshot and it will be using that to print the output. It also takes a stream. So for that stream, we need to specify or we need to create the BLoC as well. But as I have already told you that we won't be using the BLoC widgets or BLoC packages which are available in Flutter to easily implement BLoC. We'll be using the custom stream and sync options to make the BLoC implementation inside our Flutter app. So for that stream, we need to pass the counter block. which I'll be creating in a while, and this will be having dot counter stream. So this would be basically the stream to which this stream builder would be listening to, and accordingly it will be updating the data. So before continuing with this, let us just create this counter block as well. So this counter block would be created inside this controller directory, because it will be kind of a controller which will be controlling the functionality of our app. So I'll be creating a file with the name of counter controller .dart, and inside it importing async dart async, and after that I'll be creating an enum, which would be basically for having various different actions which could be used to perform the different functionalities in our app. So first one would be increase, then decrement and reset. Now creating the class as well. So class counter controller, and inside it initializing a variable of counter with the value of 0. Next it will be having some a stream controller, so I need to initialize that as well. And as the stream controller won't be changing throughout the app, so it will be of a type final. I have already assigned it as final, and it will be having a value of stream controller, and basically adding a data type to it as well, like return type, so that it accepts the value of type integer. Now we need to create the stream and sync for the counter application, or for the counter functionality. So I'll be creating a getter counter sync and a getter counter stream. So for counter, and it would be of a kind stream sync, and it will be having the type as integer as we have already specified, and as I specified it would it to be a getter, and as I specified it to be a getter, so adding a get keyword, and counter sync an arrow function. So stream controller dot sync, similarly stream integer get keyword, counter stream arrow function, and stream controller dot stream. And herein I need to close this as well. Now we need to create these for the event as well, so like the event controller and the event like the event sync and the event stream. I will be explaining you why we have created various different kinds of stream and sync over here with an image as well. So I have already arranged that. So let me just first show you the implementation, and then I'll be showing you why we are doing this much as well, why we are doing all of these things as well. So for event, and it would be of a type event sync and event stream. We need to create a separate controller for that as well. So this is a stream controller for this, and we'll be creating an event controller, and these will be from an event controller only. So yeah, and one more thing, like herein we have passed it to be integer, so it will be taking a type as counter action, and we need to change it over here as well. So integer would be replaced with counter action, and herein as well we need to replace this integer with counter action. Now it looks good. And one more thing, we need to create a constructor for this counter controller, which will be taking various different events, and we'll be checking what kind of event it is, and we'll be performing the operation accordingly on the data, which is basically this counter variable which we are having. So let me just create the constructor quickly. So counter controller, and constructor for it, we'll be first checking if the counter is equals to null. If this is so, we'll be setting the value of this counter to 0, and we'll be adding it to counter sync dot add, and we'll be adding the counter which we are having over here. Next thing which we'll be checking is we'll be listening to the event stream. and adding a listen property to it. So adding listen, and whenever an event is occurring, it will be checking if the event is equals to counter action. I need to add double equals to. So event is equals to counter action dot increment. So if this is the case, what we'll be doing is we'll be increasing the value of counter by 1, and we'll be printing increment called. And next we'll be checking else if the event is equals to counter action dot decrement. In this case we'll be decreasing the value of counter by 1, and we'll be printing decrement called. And at last we'll be checking else if the event is equals to counter action dot reset. And if this is the case, we'll be setting the value of counter to 0, and we'll be printing out reset called, so that you also know that what of these is being called. And I need to add this as well. Yeah, so that you also know what of these action is being called and what are the thing which is being performed. Now after this else if, what we need to do is, as we have already listened to the event stream, we need to set the data back to the sink as well, so that the user gets the updated data, and the data could be displayed with the help of the stream builder which we have already added. So we need to add the data back with the help of counter sync dot add, and we'll be adding the counter, as that is the data which is being passed. And at last we need to dispose both of these which we have created, the event controller and the stream controller, because if we are not disposing these will be staying active and will be consuming memory, and this could like result in the app crash as well. So dispose event controller dot dispose and stream controller dot dispose. I guess the dispose is not being recognized. Let me try close. So close, and this would be closing the these particular controllers as well, and that they won't be like listening to the stream of data much more like furthermore, and they won't be updating the data dynamically. So that's why we need to close them. Now as I have specified the counter block over here, I need to create a variable before this override for this build statement. So final counter block, and it would be equal to counter block which we have created, and the C needs to be capital, and importing this as well. Quick fix counter block, I guess counter controller we have named it as, yeah, counter controller. And herein we need to return, so this error for the counter block has already gone away. We need to now return the builder, or we need to create the builder. So for creating that builder, what I'll be doing is I'll be returning a text widget which will be having some data. So dollar and snapshot dot data. So the data being returned over here is the counter variable, so it would be displayed, and I can add some style to it. So text, let me add it from theme, because like I haven't used that the theme thing that much inside the tutorials. So of context dot text theme, I guess text theme dot headline 4. And we need some floating actions, but floating action buttons as well, because those are the only thing which will be helping us to trigger this particular events which we have created inside the counter actions. So adding those floating action button in a form of a row, having main axis alignment to be main axis alignment dot space around, and children's of kind floating action button having an on pressed property. So for the on press property, we'll be having counter BLoC dot event sync dot add, and inside this we can add an event. So the event would be equal to counter action dot increment, and I can add a tooltip to this floating action button as well. So tooltip inc and a child as icons dot +1. So +1, and copying this floating action button, pasting it 2 more times. This would be for reset, and this would be replay. And for the action as well, let me change this to reset. For decrement, let me change this to decrement, and inc would be changed to dec. And I am not sure like if it is having an option for decrement, so minus exposure -1, and it looks good. Let me see if it is being displayed in the app as well. Let me hot restart the app once. So there it goes. You can see over here that we are being displayed with 3 floating action button. Let me take this over here. So you can see over here that we are displayed with 3 floating action button. One is for +1, one is for -1, and one is for setting the value back to 0. So now when I'll be clicking on +1, you can see over here that the value of the counter variable which we are having is the value of that is being increased by 1, and in the debug console you can see over here that it is showing that increment called. When I'll be clicking on this -1, you can see over here that it is displaying decrement called, and the value of the counter variable is being decreased by 1. When I'll be clicking on this reset, which is the replay icon which we have added, so when we'll be clicking on it, it will be automatically setting the value back to 0, and the data would be updated dynamically inside our application. So you can already see that we are using a stateless widget over here which does not allow the dynamic updating of the data out of the box. We have to add some state management solution. So this is what is happening over here. The data is being updated on a dynamic basis and is being displayed to the user as well throughout the app, on of a click being made and of a data being updated. So you can see over here that this is happening. Now you must be thinking what is resulting in this and how are these things being updated. So let me show you an image which I have created, and it will be helping you to understand the things much more clearly. And let me squeeze it a bit. So here you can see over here that we had 4 different options which we have created inside are this file, that is the counter controller file, which is this event sync, event stream, the counter sync and counter stream. So same you can see over here that we have 4 different options. So event sync, event stream, counter sync and counter stream. So what is taking place over here is a data is input by the button. Any of these things is occurring, that would be added to the event sync, and this event sync would be listening to the event which is being performed by the user, and it will be taking an action or it will be updating the data accordingly. So it will be performing the action, and once it has performed that action, it will be then updating the event stream, so that the event stream could then update the data for the counter stream, and then with the help of this counter stream it would be listening to the stream, and then it will be building the stream builder, and with the help of the counter stream which we are having, we will be then displaying the data to the user with the help of the UI which we have created. So I guess this must be clear. Now let me show you the same inside the code as well. Closing this. So as soon as we are clicking on the floating action button, so where it is, you can see over here that as soon as we are clicking on the floating action button, we are adding the event inside the event sync. So that event would be going inside the event sync. Once the event has gone inside the event sync, the event stream would be listening to that particular event, and accordingly on the basis of the action being performed, it would be performing that particular update on the data which we are having. Once the data is updated, we will be then sending, or we'll be then adding that updated data to the counter string which we are having, and once the counter sync has been updated with that particular data, we'll be using the counter stream which we have specified inside this stream builder. So here you can see that we have specified the counter stream, and we'll be using this counter stream to update the data dynamically inside our stream with the help of the stream builder inside our Flutter application. So this is how you can implement, or this is how you can add the particular BLoC implementation or the stream and sync implementation to make the stateless widget stateful, and to implement or to update your data dynamically throughout our app, throughout the app without the hassle of using the BLoC. Although the BLoC usage is pretty much easy, I'll be showing you that in the upcoming videos as well, and we'll be covering various different state management solutions in the upcoming video. Although it is pretty easy, but yeah, as compared to like using those things, I have shown you how you can use this particular thing as well. So this was pretty much it for this video, and to sum up or to give you a recap. So in this video I have shown you how you can create stream syncs, and how you can perform various different actions according to your app, and how you can update the data dynamically inside your Flutter application. So this was pretty much it for this video. If you got to learn something new, then make sure to drop a like, comment down below your thoughts and what you want to see in the upcoming videos, and share this video with the people in your community to help them learn Flutter as well, and subscribe to the channel to get all the latest updates related to the Flutter videos being posted on a regular basis. A new video is being posted every alternate day, so make sure to subscribe as well. And thank you for watching this video. Make sure to check out Newton School and Launchpad as well. The links are given in the description. And this was it for this video. I'll be seeing you in the next one.